really want to address with you all tonight, and that is healing and women. So where should we start? I think healing. Okay. Healing has been in the past coming from a physical realm, if you will. Okay? So, such as you seek doctors for medical attention, okay? And they heal you. But one of the things that's happening in the 2012 energy is that that's no longer going to be sufficient. That's no longer going to be the only thing, because as we've talked in the past about healing yourself as a whole, that's why medical community is still very much needed. Make no mistake about that. Okay? However, you also need to address the spiritual and the emotional. Because believe it or not, emotions are given to you as a gift. They're not given to you to hold on to. They're given to you to allow you to experience an incident in your life more fully. And then you're to release those emotions and allow them to travel on. Okay? However, what you've done is you've gotten attached to those emotions and you've held on to them and you've created little spaces inside yourself so you could hold on to them. So we have to learn to heal ourselves as a whole by releasing those emotions. Because the medical community can heal you in a physical realm, but not in an emotional realm. And this is what you have to learn to do for yourselves. Because by healing in the emotional realm, it returns you to who you truly are, your true self, your soul. Otherwise, you remain on, as we've talked in the past, the hamster wheel going around and around into repetitive behavior and disappointment. And that means that you're not able to connect to your true self and illuminate yourself. Because there's attachment. Attachment to those old past emotions. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just turn and hang on to all the happiness of those events and let go of all the repetitive and disappointment, rejection type emotions? But also, in releasing these emotions, the key really is to understand what you've gained, which we talked about before. Because for every negative, there's always a positive. In everything. We may not see it at the time, but it's there. So, the next thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is women and how important women's roles are in coming into 2012. Okay? For so many years, the feminine energy, however you want to say it, has not been valued. Okay? And by it coming back in now, it's coming in to balance things out, of course, but that also impacts every one of you in here, because you're part of this. And the way that you can support this energy in coming in is by standing in your power and speaking your truth. Women are there at the beginning of life, and women are there at the end of life. Do you see how powerful that is? How powerful a role that is? That doesn't mean that the masculine energy is going away. It doesn't mean every one of you don't have the masculine energy in you. You do. But it's now time to honor both sides of yourself and bring them together in harmony and balance. Because if you want to move into flow and continue on in the new energy, which is higher, as we've talked about, than the old energy, you have to be able to balance both of those energies within you. And a lot of people think, because they understand about the masculine and feminine within, that that's balance. That's not. We don't create balance here. We create balance here. So everything that you take in must be taken into your heart. It's like it becomes part of you. It becomes part of you, who you are, your foundation. It's not something that you necessarily have to think about. It's just something about who you are. It's your being. So how do you get connected or reconnected to the feminine? That's always a big question, isn't it? Yeah. The way you do that is by meditating. That's the best way. You can meditate on anything that you consider feminine and bring it into yourself and see yourself engulfing this. It becomes part of who you are. And it's a process for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't familiar with that energy, and they view that energy as a weakness. But make no mistake, it's not a weakness. It's part of you. It's like you've cut off your right arm and now you're reattaching it. So, when were you the weakest? When you didn't have the arm.